Welcome back, everyone, for the 4th edition of the Bourbon Judge. Before we get started, let's go ahead and introduce today. We have a guest judge. This is my cousin, Anita. Welcome, cousin.
Thank you so much, cousin. I am thrilled to be here with you, Marcus Marsh, a.k.a. the Bourbon Judge.
So I will tell you, my cousin's been drinking bourbon many, many years, way before me. But she definitely helped to kind of get me into the bourbon game, if you will, right? So welcome again.
Thank you.
Thanks for visiting. So today we're going to go ahead and review E.H. Teller. So before we get started, let's take a look at this bottle here. So there we go. Got the front, the back, and this one is special, folks. I mean, comes in a beautiful, beautiful canister. There we go. All right, so let's give some facts and info about the E.H. Teller brand. So number one, E.H. Teller is under the Buffalo Trace line. Mm-hmm. They make about, I think, like almost 9 different bourbons under E.H. Teller by itself. We're reviewing today. We're going to sample and try the small batch, but they also make like a single barrel, a rye. The list goes on and on for like 6 or 7 more other different types of bourbon, right? But there's some great information about E.H. Teller itself. So E.H. Teller, also known as Edmund Haynes Teller Jr., was almost like the godfather of bourbon. So, you know, the story behind him is that he was a colonel in the Civil War. Civil War ended. He really liked bourbon, but I think he really wanted to try to improve the quality of bourbon, how it was made, the overall taste, like the final output, right? So he bought a distillery, and here we are today, you know, many years later, still enjoying E.H. Teller.
Very much
so good stuff. Also, this one is a small batch. So we know a small batch is a bourbon that is mixed of several different barrels all blended together to become one small batch. So this is a really nice small batch bottled in bond. So we know it's bottled for at least 4 years, great quality standards as a whole. But let's go ahead and get into the best part. Let's take a look at this. So beautiful color. I'm thinking about, what do you think, like a light to mid brown?
Light to mid brown, caramel in nature.
You definitely smell the wonderful caramel for sure.
And the spices, though. We can't forget. Definitely the notes of spice there.
Yeah, it is. It's very spicy for sure. This bourbon, before we sip it, also from a price standpoint, you can buy it anywhere from like $45 to $60. Just depends on where you live in the U.S. or around the world. And then from an availability standpoint, you can find E.H. Teller. It's not hard to find, but you may have to search around a little bit, but not too hard to find. Well, the best part. Cheers. Cousins. Ooh, that's nice. It's
Very
smooth.
Nice. Very nice.
But a nice little spice at the end.
Very smooth. And it kind of rests with you on your palate. So you feel that after you take the sip, you feel that spice kind of resonate on your palate and in your throat. And like I've shared with you, as you know, I'm a fan of a little bit of a sweeter bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would definitely tell your viewers that if that is a preference, this is probably not the direction to go, but still great tasting.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this one, you're right. And, you know, the spiciness comes with a bit of a higher proof, right? So this is 100 proof, so slightly higher, that mid to upper tier range. So if you don't like as much spice, maybe not the one for you. But if you enjoy a little bit of spice, which is always nice in bourbon, definitely a really good bourbon. But let's go ahead and finish this one. Cheers again.
Wonderful.
Very smooth, very smooth.
Wonderful.
Very nice. Good bourbon as a whole. Well, you know, normally I would give the judgment myself, but I'm gonna have to turn it over to you. I'm gonna let you give the judgment today, and then I'll finalize it. How about that?
I think that works very well.
All right. What's your call?
So my call is this is definitely a buy, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed. Well, folks, I actually have to agree with my cousin here, right? So when I think about bourbon, I think about the quality, I think about the price point, and I think about just enjoying it over some great conversation with friends or family. You have to say, do I buy this or do I leave it on the shelf? And I completely agree with my cousin. This is a buy. Folks, until next week, thank you very much for joining. Please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you. And next week, we're going to next week, we're going to begin, with a brand new bourbon. We're going to step our game up a little bit. We're going to review a bourbon that really helped me to get into the bourbon game, and it's probably my top 3 on my list. So wait till next week, folks. Until then, thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.